able to use her ultimate, but it's so key and crucial that the Tessa ultimate manages to catch someone and you get a kill off at the back of it. Otherwise, your Monk is just not going to have a good time.
Well, it looks like already JDG and Wolves have got themselves in a scrap here. Zem just trying to break away from Keck. Keck keeping the pressure up onto them, but hasn't actually been able to land a kill. Tessa Charm coming down here from the side of Wolves. Keck goes down. They're able to secure themselves one kill. In with the spear onto PP. PP losing a lot of HP. EG just keeping the pressure up onto him as it looks like the Wolf Pack has secured themselves their first kill, taking down all three members of JDG. Now EWG coming in on the area, and that actually may have saved the lives of WBG. Bane's Breath getting used as well. It's actually going to be, I think that's BBE who are in control of this. Bane's Breath almost connecting onto Sleepwalker, getting the counter off onto him, pops the bell just to keep himself getting too much follow-up damage landing in on, as here comes the Bane's Breath, has to tap dodge out of that one. That could have been really hairy. Sleepwalker low HP. Now he's still in the Bane's Breath. He has to be careful. Caught out by the whiff. I've been able to secure that kill as Aizhao now in some serious danger. Ivan keeping the pressure up onto him, but the sandstorm has broken out. Ivan goes down. And somehow it goes bad. Oh, Aishao, that was rough. Almost got himself taken out. Isn't going to be going down. Should be able to pick his teammates back up in time. Bane's Breath not going to be making a connection onto him. Baigay just about getting picked up. Sleepwalker also just about getting picked up. You can see the ghosts of BBE were hanging about, but decided not going to do the salty run back. That fight went a little bit rough for them. And yeah, somehow, by maybe a little bit of a miracle, considering they were fighting in a Bane's Breath with a Monk, WBG pulled the win off in that little fight.
Yeah, actually being able to get that soul boom reset after the Bane Breath hit was what saved them. To be honest, if a second Bane had come through, he would have been absolutely done for. As JDG's 2-tick, currently taking a 1 versus 2, will be able to find the parry onto Xiaohu. And immediately that pressure is going to be absorbed by water trying to come back on through. They're going to set up where one can just parry in front, the other can just throw blue focus out into the back because parry only has a forward-facing window. So if you're ever in a 1 versus 2, or if you're in a 2 versus 1, you always want one player in front, one player behind, because they're only going to be able to parry one of you. So it's going to be J-Team this time dropping that Bane's Breath. Tessa does manage to find the connection. XOY will be able to interact and cancel that one. Sits in the fan RMB, throws out the charge, trying to catch on to as many players as possible. The Bane's Breath has drawn the attention, though, of teams that were in the area and weren't originally fighting J-Team. Alliance, it looks like, are going to kite over towards that no-ult zone. Don't decide to actually pop it. So just waiting to see whether or not J-Team are going to decide to actively take this engagement. Tessa V1 comes on through. Now Alliance are going to pop that no-ult zone because the Sand Siphon team are in too deep. They're not going to be able to run away and utilize any of the Staccator ultimate to turn the fight into their favor. Unfortunately, J-Team's Lee is the one that comes in with the first kill. XLY again just throwing out the fan RMBs, looking to try and do as much damage as quickly as possible onto Alliance as well as scoop those players up and closer to him so his team can follow up. Smolch ultimate gets thrown just on the edges of that no-ult zone, so J-Team will be able to use that one to obscure their escape and now catch on to Alliance, who'd actually, I think, Wuchen teleported out and directly on top of where J-Team decided to disengage onto. A little bit of an unfortunate one for Alliance there, as they have not been able to recuperate any of their health. As a result, XLY playing outside of that no-ult zone can still throw the Fury and shoves into it, and as a result, Alliance will lose their players as JL comes in for the third-party TXJ, the Yodo F2. Gold frame focuses on to put XLY, and he has just gone in a matter of moments.
That is rough. Now Alliance gonna get tidied up here by TXJ. JL, beautiful little third party coming in from them there. Able to turn that on nicely as they're actually still not done. Alliance desperately trying to scramble away as Bo got that grey armor with a blue fan. It still does have a revive in their pocket, so if they go down here, it's not the end of the world. But JL, honestly, needing a good game. They have had a terrible, some might say tragic start of the day. 8.8 points. 4 of which are in the last couple of moments. That's how bad this day has been for JL. They've only just picked up 4 points here, and they've almost doubled their score across the last 2 games. So
I'm watching what Alliance is.
Bo has
Game
been
plan
found.
is Revenge is in the area in soul form.
Yeah, can he do anything about this though, really? Are they going to do the revive and try and save the day? Or are they just going to let them go down and then find a good rebirth area for them as a team to fully reset? JL keeping the pressure up onto Bo. Bo has done a good job of staying alive as long as they have, but JL are able to secure themselves the kills. That is the start that they needed, because they have been desperate for a good game, and this could be the start of one. I'm not going to say it is one, because there's still 24 minutes to go. We'll come back to this in 24 minutes and see how they're doing. But
Well,
Wolves,
that's a
6
bloom
kills.
left, at least. JL have 1 insurance bloom. The problem is that it's so far scattered away from where the rest of the fight went down that if they do lose a Realm of Yang fight, they're going to have to find another team to be able to kill, because it's only 2 blooms. And so OUG also going to be leaving a bloom behind. As we talked about, we are not playing current patch. These soul blooms do not have the 2-minute timeout. It is currently previous patch, so all of these teams wanting to take a Realm of Yang, risk it for the biscuit, will be leaving those soul blooms behind and will still be able to return to those corpses as insurance policies. As DRG are going to be looking to set up some of those corpses and insurance policies. WFZ with those shooting shoves, just trying to sit in the middle and do as much damage as possible. Karumi ultimate has been called in. Unfortunately, however, it is Karumi versus Zping in the overworld. What is going to have more power? WFZ, because he has that zip, will be able to play away from the rest of his supports and create a little bit more spacing for the team. TE with that Karumi, however, just absolutely unkillable, even through everything that DRG threw at them. And now we go into neutral. Karumi Tether has been broken. Leo getting that 90% damage reduction to be able to survive as they try and pressure onto the Rumi. But that damage reduction is now removed. DRD's Wuxian trying to set up the Dragon Slayers into Nezhaz. The armor gone for the Karumi, but WFC also taking a lot of damage because of it. Comes in with those dual halberds on the R&B, catching onto as many players as possible on the side of T to get as much damage done as possible. But Han with that also doing a very good job of creating the spacing for his team. What's that focus light as well? Just skating into the ankles, not allowing them to be able to parry any of the blues that TE throws out, and off of so much peel to guarantee that that Karumi lived. Once that happened, the 4-second 90% damage reduction had passed, they're able to win the fight out in the long run. Really good stuff from TE. And TE, just like JL, a team that need to do well today, start making their way up the leaderboard.
Absolutely needed that one, as we are seeing the zone shift actually on top of Plumed. We're just going to have very crowded final circles in the sense where they're not open in fields. It's going to be in buildings, because every final circle today so far has had homes and space for people to move around in. As Realm of Yang spawns up, JL jump in, see who their opponent is going to be, who they're going to be playing versus. So far, no one. Might just be getting this one uncontested. There is a world where that happens.
Well, everyone's waiting for the third. There are 3 Realm of Yangs now, and the thing is, like, the teams that go in immediately are the teams that are scaled to be able to, like, play super aggressive.
Ready
if you
to
wait
fight.
for the third one, potentially you're going up against a team that's a little bit more cautious, doesn't really want to take the
this
Realm
is
of Yang,
hype.
so you could potentially go up against a weaker team.
Well, JL versus OUG, this is a very, very hype one. OUG winning the last bi-weekly, just being the best team, but JL had an absolutely amazing bi-weekly themselves, so it'll be a fun one to watch. See if anyone can kind of put their authority on this one. DXJ able to dodge away on a lot of that. Lovely little summon of the pillar of the mech, knocking 2 members of JL back. Transforms come out, cannonballs come down, as both of the mechs are just going to be shooting at each other. TXJ throwing down that ultimate, trying to get the Yoto to rip through SS low HP. Down they go. JL able to put their stamp down on this game as the final couple of Yoto strikes coming in onto that mech, as DXJ doing a great job of just avoiding losing too much HP, but then they are followed up onto staggered. Cannonball comes in, lose a lot of armor, are just going to go for a quick heal up while they wait for these transforms to time out, switching out for the bow for the shot. JL have the advantage right now, have the manpower to overwhelm OUG. Zinyu goes down. TL are just going to be, JL, sorry, just going to be able to finish this one up. Yu does pop the ultimate, see if they can find a miracle kill or two onto some of these JL members, but FX avoiding and evading away on these slashes from Yu is going to be able to land the last couple, but not enough as they're caught in an uppercut. Down they go. That is a JL victory. Played that very, very well, and they're going to be sitting very comfortable off the back of this.
Oh, legendary dual halberds too. That is a very good weapon, an S-tier weapon, both in terms of chasing and also just how fast that RMB can come out from. TE in the overworld will be able to take down DRG. Looks like it wasn't actually that so much ultimate, considering LYD still has his intact. So they're able to turn the tides into that one. In fact, they've still got all of their ultimates. World DRG, once again, that Z-Ping, just struggling to be able to kill any member of TE, because the way that you pressured the Zip at the moment for Sand Siphon, right? You all in on either the Zip or the Takeda to force the ultimate as quickly as you can, then you just all in the damage to be able to proc Sedated Soul as quickly as you can. You can't really do that into the Kurumi variant of the Sand Siphon. If you try to all in on the Takeda, all you're going to do is proc Tether from the Kurumi, and she gets to hold on to her ultimate a lot longer than the Z-Ping does a lot of the time in those specific engagements. Plus, you can only get like one recast to be able to move the circle, but having that Tumult F and the interaction where you turn it elemental, even if it comes out before you actually move the Kurumi ultimate in your recast, the elemental interaction remains. So if you have Kurumi ultimate into Temi F and then you recast the Kurumi ultimate, you're still going to have the stamina sap attached to it. So it becomes incredibly problematic for a lot of these teams, especially with Kurumis being very smart about where they place their ultimate. A lot of the time, if they're up against a Takeda team, they'll actually place their ultimate and the team will position in a way that the Kurumi ultimate will be either up against a wall or a pillar. So if your other Takeda gets fear and shoved, they can't actually shove you outside of the Kurumi AoE.
Well, it looks like OUG getting run down here by WBG. Could be a very, very rough one for them. They've got the debuff on, and SS is losing a lot of HP. Into the mech they go. Sleepwalker transforms up. See if they can find a grab. Able to get one onto Yu. Looking for the slam down. Yu loses a lot of HP. Yu, can they get the re-grab, Jail? Actually, loses a lot of HP as SS just cannon firing away onto Yu on the low ground. Is able to get the grab onto Sleepwalker. The grab comes down, from Sleepwalker onto Yu. Able to get another grab coming out. Can they get one on the mech? Nope. Going to switch forms, so not going to be able to pick that one up as Yu keeping the pressure down. And somehow, OUG have turned this fight around. I thought it started pretty bad for them, but WBG were unable to make this really stick with them as down they go. OUG cleanse themselves of the debuff and get themselves a lovely little victory, taking the Monk out of the lobby. And it's what we're talking about. These comps just counter the Monk. It's too hard.
Cannonball, like, the fact that you can basically immediately have a Yueshan ult denies one potential double grab, and also the way that they played it into that Monk, it's really risky. Yu goes for the ultimate with the Yoto and actually gets the stagger. He does get early grabbed out of his ultimate, I do believe, as we can have a look and see what exactly JL has to say.
包括我也觉得不应该是这个成绩，但之后就更加的努力嘛，可能就是因为我很多地方没有很完善，没有人家们两位前辈经验高什么的，经验多，就打起来可能会时常紧张什么的。今天啊，常规赛啊什么的打的都有点唯唯诺诺，有些时候自己也不敢去操作什么的。后续的话，我会更敢于去操作，就把紧张这一点就去克制掉，放手打。我们三个真厉害。
Aw, JL's FX there, just saying about how basically having, as you said, two veterans, two world champs on the team is affecting, because TE, back when they had that roster core of LID, Leo, VVV and TXJ, they were a very aggressive team. This was a team who, even with the Yoto F2 changes, like, they still stuck with the Yoto F1. Even when everyone was running Yoto F3 before it got nerfed, they still ran the Yoto F1 because they were just fully push in and be able to isolate one specific target, and they would just move from that one kill to snowball through the other two remaining players off of just playing light and blue focus in the pocket, and it would work out well for them. So it would definitely be daunting, I think, for anyone. But it's really good to see that FX, like, they understand that, okay, maybe I played a little bit too tentatively. Maybe I was a little bit nervous. Moving forward, it's going to be something that they'll look to change. And this is definitely not tentative at all from JL. This is JL, second realm of Yang, two blue armors deciding to take a fight.
This is going to be a miracle play. Watch. Just watch this space. He's going to do it. He's going to make an absolute miracle happen, I believe. No, he's not. He's absolutely cooked. There's no way surviving. I think it was a weird gamble from the team to decide to let him go down here because they should be able to revive him. And if they get the free roam of Yang, they get the free roam of Yang. That's brilliant. But yeah, I think WFX, unfortunately, has found himself alone in this realm of Yang. Maybe a miracle can happen, but very unlikely. Down he goes. JL, maybe a little bit miffed. It's a free realm of Yang.
But it's only one kill.
You can't be really miffed. It's only one kill. But, like, I guess it's a free roam of Yang and a point. So you can't really be that annoyed about it, actually. Yeah, if you're complaining about it, you're just a big baby. That's such a win-win.
Well, they got Mystic Might and the damage reduction, and they have a team directly in front of them that they can immediately aggressively push onto, and they got all of their ultimates recharged. So, yeah, they're not exactly going to be miffed about that one. Moonlight, however, might be a little bit peeved, because unfortunately, WF, as going inside that realm of Yang, he's still going to be returning to a Soul Altar. And Moonlight gets spotted out, so they're not going to be able to go for the play of, okay, we'll just buy back the one guy who went in because he's going to be the only one returning, and he has Yang depletion as well. And if he wasn't the one carrying the money, Jake, then uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Look, it is equally spread between him and who just went down. So
Moonlight, yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And, like, the thing is, as well, you can't have him go out to, like, Corruption 6 damage and one of your players buy him back because there are no other players on DRG to be able to purchase the Rebirth Charm or activate the Soul Altar. If he goes down to Corruption 6 damage or tries to find any other way to take himself down early so that his team could res him back up without that Yang depletion, they go out of the lobby regardless. As it's going to be JDG and TE, as we talked about, now onto the field. TE with that Draco Storm, getting incredibly aggressive as JDG's Keck just froze on repeat Windspout from a distance so he doesn't get it parried away from him. Poor old Han eats so much damage from this fan. Oh, his armor's gone. He'll be able to skip into his Karumi V2, so at least the armor is going to be regen backwards, but there is just so much damage coming on out from him. You can see that they're trying to push him outside of that Karumi ultimate. There's the elemental change, that stamina going to be affecting the players of JDG. Han getting absolutely frozen in position right now, still trying to keep the spacing with the RMB on the fan. And you can see just how good Karumi is at keeping that Takeda alive. EWG all in absolutely everything they could to try and win, or rather JDG all into everything that they could. There was even a third party coming on through. And Han, all he does is lose his armor, but the second that Leo comes in with that V2, TE are absolutely untouchable.
Yeah, that was... TE's starting to look quite good in this game. Got 5 kills under their belt. Just having a quick stop in with some of the other teams. JL 12 kills deep now. Considering how low they are, sitting at the bottom of the table, this is a absolutely monster game for them, and they needed it if they want to slingshot themselves up the standings. They're going to have to do a lot more, ideally. Get a couple more kills, turn this into a first place, and jump into the above that red line is where they really want to be. Because the first 2 games, they had only put 4 kills together. 4 points together total, sorry. So, very, very rough start for them. But
it's rough for WFC.
And there it is.
He managed to lose JL, and he immediately got found by Wolves.
I mean, he's got the debuff on, so he has to either hopefully find a lucky Soul Bloom, which why would there be a Soul Bloom sitting about here, or somehow pull a 1v3 off. I don't think he's going to be able to do that, especially now he's had to switch out into the grey armor. He's trying to break away, but he has found himself caught out by EG, and down he goes. One last slam from the staff of Zem, and they're able to secure the kill. Down go DRG, and unfortunately, it's another disappointing game from our currently second-place team in the standings, but maybe slipping because they've had 3 pretty rough games so far today.
Yeah, he unfortunately doesn't even manage to grief Wolves by just lasting long enough for J team to come in for third party. The repeating crossbow did come through. J-Team thought about pressuring. They saw the body drop. They knew that the team would probably try and land on top of it, as we can have a look and see how exactly WBG taking this realm of Yang hand out for them. JDG using those 4 pillars to avoid line of sight from the Monk. Keck with that free shell will also be able to avoid the Tessa trying to stun the Justina so that Sleepwalker had one person to grab, just not able to find it. V1 does catch on to the Justina, but the Yoto F from Tutik actually allows Keck to avoid getting Monk grabbed, and it's going to be the wind spike coming through from Keck once the fight moves away from him into the freeze onto Aksha with the follow-up of the legendary Soul Jade yet again, and from here it's just a numbers game as poor WBG Sleepwalker uses that bell, uses that F1, tries to live as long as he can, but it is all for naught. Unfortunately, that was a brighter day for JDG, because when we cut back to them, it's just the Justina left.
That was tragic. That was tragic, but we went from like, yeah, look how good they were doing, to, it's gone bad. Really, really upsetting. WBG, this Monk comp has not worked out for them. Every fight I've seen them in, they've lost. They are getting slammed. And it's, again, it's what we were saying. It's just not a Monk meta. I understand it's a comfort for them, and I understand there's an argument, this Tessa variant's really good with it, but there's just too much that handles it. There's too many things that can deal with it, and Monk used to reign supreme in the realm of Yang. So it is a great fighting comp. It's super, super good at fighting other comps in an isolated situation where you don't get third-partied, where you're in a zone where you can't really escape the Monk. All you have is the pillars and a bit of verticality to get away. But you don't have loads
use
of
the Monk ult, knowing that it's not gonna have to be burnt out immediately, cancelled, and then just
they run the other
chase
way.
down. Because some ultimates, like Yoto ultimate, Talker ultimate, you can cancel early. You don't get all of your rage back, but you do still retain a percentage of it. Monk doesn't have that. So if you're forced to Monk up because you think you're taking a fight, and then they run away and you have to de-transform to be able to keep the chase up, you lose. You go from 100 to 0. And you just get third-partied and instantly killed because the Monk doesn't have ultimate to be able to zone everyone away and bully all of the teams around.
Yeah, it's a rough one. And I just feel I know, and we've said this multiple times, and I know I sound a bit like a broken record, but you can't play Monk. The comps are too good into it. There is not a single bad comp right now in the meta that can't handle a Monk. That's why Monk doesn't get played. And I think WBG, they're trying, I think, a bit of a desperate play to kind of, because Sleepwalker is, to be fair, as much as Monk is a bad character at the moment, Sleepwalker is one of the Monk players. He is very, very good at this hero. I just think you can't rely on this guy being very good at this one hero to get your wins. You have to look elsewhere. You have to...
Well, he's been impressing on the Justina, is the thing. Sleepwalker's Justina, and I'm sure we'll get to see it when we move on to Morris, is very, very strong.
I hope so, because I think WBG are letting themselves down a little bit with this pick so far, as they have been knocked out of this game as well. We have 26 players left with 7 minutes left on the clock. 9 teams in the runnings right now. Just once again, taking a quick look. Can't see JL at the bottom of the table. That's why I think they're still in the game.
JDG also went out, by the way, when we were following other players' perspectives. Alliance's bow, I do believe, found them out.
I see. That's a little bit unfortunate for them. I'm trying to see. Yeah, JL are still in the game. There we go. I can speak, I promise. Bane's Breast coming down. Morris Blessing is on the other side of it. And
Alliance are going for it.
Alliance going for it. They've got the wind walls from the Wu Shen to keep themselves safe from any contest. And there is literally no contest. They just grab those goodies for free, get the golden armor, get the weapons. They peace out. They're quite happy off the back of that one. Really, really nice there from Alliance, actually. Way better read on it than we saw in the last game. I don't think it was Alliance who made that mistake, but actually it was Alliance, I believe, who made that mistake last game. But this time playing it a lot better. Able to break away from this one as EWG. Just trying to see if they can land a couple of shots. And my complaining was obviously heard by the Naraka devs, because we are not ending in buildings. We're ending in an open space. And I think most frustrating right now for WBG is this is actually probably quite a good circle for a monk. But not going to be able to use it. It is donezo. So I think everyone's going to find themselves their little nook, their little cranny where they can hide behind, take shots at each other, and try and just burn some of each other's resources, getting closer towards this final circle.
Oh, OUG had blistering. You can just see Shinji just throwing it out on repeat with the pole sword. Just through the wall to try and catch on to anyone. Advertising like, hey, if you want to come into this building, you take the fire tick and you are not going to be happy. As Wolves currently looking for a place of safety. Alliance making it harder for these teams that are. UWG taking a lot of pressure from that swarm held by Lane at the moment. In fact, so much pressure that JL actually have to utilize the Farrier mech for TXJ to try and absorb all of the spacing on this high ground, buying themselves and the cannonball composition, all of the spacing as JL's FX is just going to continue throwing out Katana legendary Soul Jades to be able to hitbox save anyone who tries to range down TXJ.
Yeah, TXJ quite happy on this high ground, though. Got the cannon form. There's a lot of people. That is like a damage farm there. Unfortunately, loses his mech as soon as everyone groups up. But can JL hold this high ground is the real question. They're just shooting the cannon fire down. Alliance getting toasted down there as well. As you can see, you from OUG just shooting into BBE. Put up the sandstorm just to make sure that they can't continue to be harassed by you in this mech. Sandstorm is going to fade fairly soon, though. So is the mech. So they are safe for now. Another sandstorm being used on the other side of the rocky terrain as J-Team find themselves in a bit of a scrap here versus Alliance. They are going to lose revenge already. J-Team quite happy, actually, to continue to hold onto this building for now. Whole bunch of teams waiting out on the other side. It is complete mess down there as Wolves take down EWG's 14 and Alliance's lane, picking them up. But in comes JL, TXJ, slamming into the face of Wolves to see if they can find themselves a kill in that mech. Wolves are just going to have to TP out. They do not want to be dealing with that one as JL now going to get himself onto this low ground, deciding to give up the high ground, making less of a target of themselves. It's EWG stepping forward. TXJ coming in with a cannon fire, able to secure one kill. The Yoto ultimate comes down though, and it's doing a lot of damage to J-Team. They're finding themselves in a bit of danger here. They are going to get another kill though, picked up. 14's in danger. J-Team able to finish up a member of EWG. JL having to transform, having to use their own Yoto ultimate as well, as now they're just looking to find the last few slices.
Lost the kill
off, but they can't quite get it. The whiff lands onto TXJ. He loses a lot of HP for it. Is going to be safe though. Is going to be able to reposition, get onto that high ground. Decides to drop it with Wolves holding it. And it should just be a nice little reset opportunity here for the side of JL. J-Team quite happily just sitting inside this building as long as they possibly can. JL's VVV lands the cannon shots onto a couple of members, just knocking them into the zone, battering them about here. It's going to re-switch out, switch into cannon form, and try to land a couple more shots, land a little bit more damage. That is now going to go down onto cooldown. Not going to be usable for a little bit more. So UG able to score himself a kill on to Snack there. Rishishi goes down to Leo, and BBE losing two key members is really, really rough. In comes Wolves Zem with a massive ultimate from the Viper, locking TE in place, but aren't able to really capitalize on it, aren't really able to get that punish. Is J-Team still quite happy sitting in their house, being untouched in all of this action. JL, have got themselves on top of the building in a little bit of a place where they can go for a full reset and get comfortably situated for the next stage. Xinyu on the mech here from the Farah, just trying to land the shots off on to JL on top of that building, while J-Team are quite happily just buying time, buying space. They got 6 kills. They can get a good multiplier on that. Xinyu firing some shots off, not able to make the connection happen right now. J-Team still holding fast for the moment. Wolves outside their door. JL trying to just resituate themselves actually on high ground away. They find Ziyu. They are going to look for the finalize onto him, and that is another kill for the side of TXJ. Going in for the ultimate here. A lot of people grouped up. They're going to be able to get some serious damage off, lining up those shots, but unable to really make the connection. J-Team trying to make their way now back into this zone. they didn't really do much with the Yoto ultimate. I'd say that, and the last couple of shots are absolutely huge. Here comes the transform. They're going to get that Yoto in it so they can stay nice and safe for now. Just firing down with the cannon onto everyone, doing so much damage here. This is absolutely brutal. JL putting out the work, putting out the damage, coming in for that slam down if they can find it, but they're not going to be able to get it because the Wuxian ult comes in to teleport to safety. J-Team actually picking up a whole bunch of kills, but JL answering out with their own in kind. SS low HP, the cannon shots are huge, but J-Team, they are popping off, they are taking it all. OUG have the last man standing, but that's got to be J-Team's.